What do we have at the foundation, please? Six of Swords, Aquarius energy at the foundation of the reading. And this goes along with the downloads that I've been getting for all of you for the past few days. There's some sort of new timeline, some sort of new cycle that's closing out in your life, and a new one preparing to open for you. A lot of you are heading towards some sort of success, some sort of goal, just something you've been trying to attain, or you're preparing to get on the path to do this. But because of this, you're really starting to see energies around you respond and react in a very negative way. There's a lot of narcissistic projection inside the collective right now as well. So people really acting out, but then projecting that energy on you, trying to get you to react. And this is a tactic to try and get you to self-sabotage. There's something so crucial right now about this time we're in and how we react to these energies. There's also this very creepy, stalking kind of energy that I'm picking up on. This could be exes for some of you, family members, or just kind of creeping and lurking around, watching your every move. They can either see or they can sense that something big is preparing to happen in your life. Six of Swords, this is an energy of you having transitioned on from all these cycles. It's a rite of passage. You're getting ready to graduate. There's this energy of graduation, so to speak, inside the collective. But whatever the case, for each one of you and how this energy may be showing up in your life, it's incredibly important that you stay focused on the path ahead. Do not look back. As you can see here, the ferryman is taking these two individuals over this body of water here, but they're not looking back. Right? It's like Lot's wife. She turned into a pillar of salt for looking back to see the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah as she and her family were fleeing. It's the same sort of energy, which can speak about being too focused on the destruction of others, more so than the path that is laid out in front of you. What do we have at the sacral, please? Yeah, the path that's laid out in front of you is exactly right. And it's so interesting because on this card here, we can see hand of God, the divine, blessing you, right? This represents where you're going, what you're achieving, what you're heading towards. And as you can see here, there's this path that's opened up. And there's these pinnacles here, right? The pinnacle of success. The divine saying to you, come this way. There's no reason to look back. Keep very focused on the path ahead. Keep pushing forward. There's so much chaos in the world right now, but it's also showing up in a micronized version in each one of our own lives. So that micro to macro perspective that I always speak about. I think about all the things going on in my life and the things that I just deal with in my day to day, and I can really see how it speaks about what's happening on a larger scale globally. I'm somebody who lives a very private, very quiet, peaceful life, but out of nowhere, there'll be these attempts that people make trying to get into my life or invade my privacy or peace. I obviously don't fall for any of this, but I've noticed that the tactics by which people use to do this has most definitely increased. It's so obvious now, though, and a lot of you, I feel, are also dealing with this in some capacity in your own life. Again, it's so important not to look back at these energies, because when you do this and you give these energies an audience, or you give them your energy, so to speak, you're unraveling all your growth up until this point. So the theme of this message is all about each one of us just really maintaining this focus, maintaining this vision. The collective energy right now is that everybody is really fearing the unknown. We're uncertain of what's to come our way, collectively speaking. No one knows what's going to happen because of how chaotic everything is all around us. But the most important thing that you can do during times like this is just really hold that vision of your future and what I like to call the golden era. When I find myself in a time of meditation or peace, alone with my thoughts, I start to think about all the details of what a day in the life of my own personal golden era would look like. For example, earlier today, I was in meditation and I was in a very peaceful space, alone with my thoughts, and I started to fantasize about a farm that I'm going to build. I was thinking about all the animals and how I'd be interacting with them. I was thinking about the different things I would build on my farm. I was just thinking about all the little details. I even started to think about the foundation of some of the structures that I wanted to build. I started to envision blueprints in my mind. See, when you get lost inside those sort of visions and you think about all the little details, this is just about the most powerful form of manifestation that you can possibly engage in. I could literally feel the soil in my hands as I was envisioning myself planting crops. I was picturing all my dogs chasing the chickens on my farm. Not only is this one of the most powerful forms of manifestation, but it's also tried and true. I've done this already in my own life with many things that have led me to this point right now. So I highly encourage all of you to stay focused and release the fear and engage in visual manifestation. Very, very powerful. Okay? If all of us could really start to utilize visual manifestation in our individual lives, we will start manifesting this golden age, collectively speaking. As time goes on, all the chaos, all the confusion, all the fear around us would just start to dissipate. Because as each one of us steps inside that energy, we vibrate that frequency out into the collective. I was speaking in one of the collective readings I did, I think a couple of weeks ago, about remote viewing. And this is something that I have been engaging in, and it's very, very effective. I've been seeing these very clear visions of where our future, I feel, is going to be in the next few years. And we are very much at this point of being at a crossroads, so to speak. We have a choice. We can take this path of fear, and we can allow that to become our reality. Or we can refuse it, shut it out, keep pushing forward in power and purpose, and manifest a golden age. Inside this very life cycle, it's very possible. I have seen it. As much fear as there is inside the collective, there's just as much, if not more, hope. And I'm feeling it increasing. I'm actually feeling a change. I'm feeling people waking up. I'm feeling people becoming more empowered. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that we're starting to realize we're not alone, that the way we feel, the way we think, is collective-wide. And when you realize that you're not alone, this is when people actually start to stand up and push forward. See, this opposing force, so to speak, wants us to think that we are alone in our thoughts, in our minds, in our opinions. They want us to feel scared and fearful, and they want us to feel alienated, and they want us to feel that nothing that we do can make any difference. But when you start to realize that the difference is literally in the palm of your hands, you can actually make a difference right now. By the way you are living your particular life and the decisions you're making, it all makes a difference. You may not think it does. You may think that you're insignificant. The decisions that you make inside your life are insignificant, but it has more of an influence than I can possibly begin to even try and explain to all of you, because I think it's beyond words can even begin to express or articulate. There's this divine order that we're all meant to be moving in. This can be seen as the flow of life. This can be seen as evolution. However you want to look at it, as long as you are in that divine flow and stepping in divine order, you will come out on top. It's when you start living a life that's in resistance to that, that's going against the grain, so to speak, then you're in trouble, because that's that energy of indoctrination. That's you basically giving up to this opposing force. allowing them to engage you in that fear and make you think that there's no hope for the future. But at the end of the day, it all has to do with your mind. It has to do with how in control you are of your own thoughts and mindsets. This is why our minds, our senses are so bombarded on a daily basis inside our waking life. They need us in a state of shock and awe, stress, anxiety, depression at all times in order to gain control over us. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? 5 of Wands, Leo energy at the solar plexus. This is how they need us. Chaos and disorder. Fighting with each other. Distracted from the things that are truly important in our lives. I just heard so clearly, false flag, right? So an energy of creating chaos in our lives to distract us from something. This connects perfectly to what I was speaking about at the beginning of the reading. You all heading towards something, but there's this distracting energy. Their eyes on you. It's like they want to create some sort of chaos. So we can see perfectly how that can be in our own lives and as well on the world stage. It's all connected. See, we can choose to engage and allow the distraction to influence and dictate our moves forward, or we can remain focused on the path ahead, the light at the end of the tunnel. The distractions just coming in from all angles, left and right, above, below. It's just everywhere, behind, in front. It's overwhelming. There's no easy way to do any of this. Some days are easier than others. There's a spiritual war going on as well. We can't see it, but it's on the etheric plane. It's very, very violent. Evolution is our destiny. And make no mistake, there's a force in this universe that is trying to stop that from happening. Now, that's a big idea. It can be hard to wrap your head around. But if you can just think about everything I'm saying as macro to micro, you can put this down in your own life as well. And I always try to tell all of you that you all have this incremental influence. And this is so incredibly true, because what you'll start to realize is that the more you're fighting for this vision that you have for your future, the more you're going to start to see that collectively take place. Society just completely falling apart all around the world. You know, for me personally, when I started to wake up and really fight for my happiness and my life and my purpose, the pandemic hit. And this was the same for a lot of people, because a lot of people had spiritual awakenings right around the same time. I used to be an underdog, and then post-pandemic, I'm no longer an underdog. And this is the same for millions and millions of other people. There was a huge collective shift right around that time. This 5 of Wands at the solar plexus, it's just this energy of just feeling completely powerless inside your life, like you just feel so uncertain. You don't know what's coming your way. You're scared. You're in fear. You feel like you have to fight for everything. And yes, we do have to fight, but there's 2 different ways you can fight. You can fight in fear, or you can fight in power. And those are 2 very different things. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow. Magician, Gemini, Virgo energy at the heart. And there it is, the vision, the golden age, the golden era. If we can all focus on this together, focus on your greatest happiness. What does it look like to you? What is the weather like? What color are the leaves? What does the soil feel like? How clear is the water? How soft is the cat's fur? The details. Get into the details. Visual manifestation. The more you start to do this, the more the distractions become increasingly obvious. You just start to see these energies coming out of the woodwork, like I said, from all angles, trying to distract you, mess with your focus, or knock you off path. It's in these moments you start to realize that there's some sort of energy keeping tabs on all of us, right? It's that shadow energy in the collective. It's like the devil has eyes on us at all times. And remember, the devil can't touch you. The devil wants to get you to let your guard down so you allow the devil into your life. I just heard, little pig, let me in, right? So it's like the devil wants you to essentially self-sabotage. That's how he gets you. Brings that person into your life to seduce you, to test you, whatever it is. Could even be a toxic family member for a lot of you, friends. So many different ways this energy can show up. But as soon as you engage with that energy, that's when the devil's got you right where he needs you. So remember, in order for the devil to get into your life, you have to allow him in. Now, this can be very tricky. As we all know, the devil is very tricky because of the way our environments are constructed. There is temptation everywhere. And sometimes we don't even realize that things are a temptation until it's too late. The devil will use food. The devil will use drugs. The devil will use alcohol. The devil will use seduction. The devil will use materialism and greed and envy and addictions, all of these things. But they all fall under 7 umbrellas, the 7 deadly sins. So if you all can keep that in mind when you're going about your everyday waking life, categorizing the decisions you have to make, if you're unsure, seeing where they might fall. Is it on that scale of one of the 7 deadly sins? Most of the time, it's going to be, especially if you're unsure, because that's your intuition trying to alert you to something. And remember, like I've stated in previous readings, we have 7 chakras. The 7 chakras twisted are the 7 deadly sins. So we can see now how living inside our everyday waking life is trying to twist and turn our chakras. So we submit and we take this alternate path of our soul's true will, and we step out of divine order with evolution. The magician at the heart is you turning these visions into reality, us turning this vision of the future into reality. Focus, concentrate, realize how powerful you really are and how each one of you plays a role. You are here for a reason. You're not here just to push air. There's a divine purpose and a calling on each one of your lives. You just need to wake up to it and realize that you have just as much potential as the next person. The only thing that sets each individual aside has to do with the things that they've allowed to take hold of their life. Like I said, the 7 deadly sins. This is how they get you. This is how they keep you away from your purpose. Because once you engage with one of those 7 deadly sins, you have to go through a healing process to overcome that. It takes time. You have to get back on path. Each and every one of you is just as capable as the next person. But some of us have gone too far down this path without even knowing it. I look back on the earlier years of my life, and I can't believe that I've gotten to where I am now. But it happened because I finally surrendered. But I also had an epiphany. I just didn't see things the way I see them now. I didn't make up excuses for any of it. And I was able to bring my chakra system and my life into balance and actually make it to where I am now, which is a complete miracle. But I'm not special. Everybody else has access to that as well. It's all a matter of surrender. So no matter where you are on your path, whether you're advanced and you're walking in this energy of power and purpose, or you're at some sort of rock bottom in your life, you're struggling with some of these 7 deadly sins in some area of your life, you can always, always turn it around. You see, it really just comes down to the knowing that you've stepped off path and you've wandered off into an enemy territory, so to speak. It's like you've walked beyond the gates of hell in your own reality without knowing that you've been in hell. And now you got to find your way out. Basically like finding your way out of a dense forest region. It's the same kind of thing. There's so many different examples, and I can go on about this forever, but I think that I've said enough to get my point across to all of you, that you're much more powerful than you even know. And the more attacked, indoctrinated, low you feel, the higher you are meant to soar. I like saying that when you're at rock bottom, there's only one way to go. Up. Last time I was at rock bottom, I heard God say that to me. It was just like something just in that moment, something just completely changed. It's like my higher self came online, and looking back now, it seems like it was immediate that I turned my life around from that point. So it brings me back again to what I said about it really just having to do with our minds, our mindsets, right? What do we have at the throat? This magician at the heart as well. This is speaking about this true heart's desire, right? This vision. 7 of Cups in reverse at the throat. Wow. Unbelievable. 7 cups in reverse. 7 deadly sins. Look, there's a temptation in each one of those. This is just further reiterating everything that I just said. This is an energy of self-delusion and escapism. Just procrastinating, right? See, that's how the devil gets you. The devil needs you to procrastinate. Just needs to take a few life clock minutes away from you. And he's got to win. He knows that we only have a limited amount of time inside this life cycle. So this is why we are bombarded with temptation. And I've been speaking a little bit about what I call stand-down tactics. Now, this is a very controversial subject. People love to debate this. And I just want to say that my readings aren't necessarily up for debate. Okay, I'm channeling from a source here. So you can either choose to accept the message or not. You don't have to subscribe to anything I'm saying here, but what I am saying here is very grounded in reality, and it's very self-empowering. But these stand-down tactics that we're seeing all around us are used to get us to allow other people to make the big decisions for us. Now, the biggest stand-down tactic in the history of mankind is the one about us being saved, okay? And I've said it before, and I'm being guided to say it again. If you are waiting around for this to happen, you've essentially given up on your life, okay? Now, if it does happen, hey, great, bonus, all right? But it's very important that you start to understand that this is a weapon to get us to stop from self-empowering. The prophets are examples of what we are supposed to be doing in this life cycle. I don't know how people don't understand this or don't get it. It's so clear and obvious. But it just goes to show how incredibly indoctrinated and asleep the collective is. I know that most of you get it. It's usually only about 1.1% of people who try to debate that topic. But even in saying all of that, even if you don't want to believe that, that's fine. But what I am trying to encourage all of you to do, whether you want to believe that or not, is to self-empower. Why would you wait for somebody else to do the heavy lifting in your own life? That is not a life well lived. You are not the builder of your own reality. See, and this speaks about what is happening globally, collectively. We put our trust in other individuals and look where it's gotten us. Now, we all didn't know any better, but we do now. Idol worship is a sin, and the same people that are waiting around to be saved and refuse to self-empower 100% of the time are also engaged in idol worship in their own lives. They say they're following the teachings, but I feel that a lot of these people are so delusional, they just can't seem to tell the difference from right or wrong anymore. They're engaged in idol worship, but they're waiting to be saved. And a lot of these people as well, with this 7 of Cups at the throat, are the individuals that are very opinionated of other individuals that are actually self-empowering. Overactive throat chakra energy, right? For a lot of you, this is family members, people you know. A lot of you can see very clearly now the stark difference between us and them. What do we have at the third eye, please? The world. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius energy at the third eye. This is representing the cycle. This is representing the fabric of time, evolution, the divine order. At the third eye, this is representing this major cycle closing out collectively. You know, the rapture can be seen as individuals who get it and individuals who don't. You're saved and you're elevated into the next timeline. The rapture can be seen as a shifting of your mindset, a balancing of your chakra system. Simply put, you just get it. And what's funny is this individual is floating. It almost looks like they're floating up to the sky, right? Visual manifestation. Those who visualize the golden era are saved from the constraints of mental imprisonment, which is based off of disempowerment and submitting to the indoctrination and taking the alternate path with God's name in their mouth. What do we have at the crown, please? Hierophant, Taurus energy at the crown. God's name in their mouth is exactly right. This is the divine order. This is how we're supposed to be moving. And the whole idea and the way they're having me channel this through to all of you right now is completely grounded in reality. Every single person can take this message and actually apply it into their own lives. You don't need anything. You don't need to be anybody. You just need to change your mindset. You just need to look at things from this higher vantage point. You just need to look at things through God's eyes. This is sensible. This is doable. And this is how you fulfill your mission and this destiny in this life cycle. This is what it's all about. What do we have at the foundation, please? Queen of Cups, Phoenix. And here they come, exactly as I suspected, right underneath that Six of Swords. No, you can't leave me behind. Please, please just stay here with me. Some of you could be dealing with people who have addictions. Alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, whatever it is, it's here. Or some of you may still be engaged in this stuff. Just about everybody has got something they need to release, okay? Nobody's perfect. But either way, the more you sacrifice, the closer to God you get. Because remember, just about everything can fall under one of these 7 umbrellas. You know, when I did have a lot of toxic attachments in my life, and I started to study the chakra systems well before I launched my YouTube channel, and I was trying to figure out how to balance my chakras, right? And so when I started to learn that a lot of these toxic traits I had fell under one of those 7 umbrellas, under one of those 7 deadly sins. When I started to realize this, it was like huge wake-up call. There's no excuse that you can make up for that. Some of you just really need to process that. What are you struggling with? Okay, what umbrella does it fall under? What 7 deadly sin does it fall under? For most of you, it will trigger the change you need. So I highly encourage you to start going in on your life with a magnifying glass. Analyze everything. Why do you feel blocked in areas of your life? Why do you feel a lack of growth? Look at all the details of your everyday life. What are you consuming? What are you getting up to? Where does all your time go? Who's around you? You need to start looking at the details. It's in the details. It's hiding in plain sight. It's right underneath your nose for a lot of you. It was for me. What do we have at the sacral, please? 3 of Cups, Gusion, Cancer energy, and 8 of Cups, Vipar, Pisces energy at the solar plexus. Further reiterating everything we just spoke about. This 3 of Cups right here can be an energy of partying too much. It's a very gossipy kind of energy, whether it's energies you're engaging in or energies you have around you, or energies that hold this kind of vibration of frequency. Simply put, it's just an energy of misfortune and just things that are stifling your creativity, causing you to withdraw from your intended path. And what's so interesting here is we have this Ace of Pentacles coming out of the sky. That's your blessings. And then this individual, it almost looks like they're trying to grab onto that Ace of Pentacles, but they can't. Because look, there's something hanging out of their mouth. It looks like a joint, right? This could just be a metaphor for things in your life or things around you. But what's also interesting is this energy here is an energy that will pretend like they have this, right? They have the vision of the blessings, but rather than put in the hard work to go after it, they'd rather just pretend. Wow. It's like an energy of gaslighting yourself. What would you call that? Self-imposed gaslighting by way of delusionary tactics. Guess that probably works. But overall, it's just an energy of making up every excuse in the book to not engage with your destiny. And then we have Eight of Cups, Pisces energy at the solar plexus. A lot of you need to confront the truth here about what's holding you back. Some of you out there feel hopeless. There's a reason for that. It's the energy you have around you or the energy that you're entertaining and engaging in. It's all over this reading. Right underneath this Five of Wands. The indoctrination. This is an energy of you denying yourself of the life that's yours by divine rights. And again, it's right underneath your nose. But you're asking to be shown what you need to do, right? Mirror, mirror on the wall. It's right in front of your face. It always is. And I can only say this with confidence because I've been through this. It's what gives me the ability to be able to sit here and talk to all of you about it. And this is no easy task. This is the hardest things you'll ever have to do in your life. It's right on this table. But the reward that comes with overcoming these demons, so to speak, these sins, is far-reaching. This is how you attain generational wealth, is by taking this sort of path. What do we have at the heart, please? Too many cards. What do we have at the heart? Two of Swords, Halifax, Libra energy, falsehood. This is just an energy of indecision, energy of making a deal with the devil, right? These energies that act like they're always sticking their neck out for you. See how he's only got 3 fingers? You can't trust somebody who shakes your hand with 3 fingers. I mean, look, if you only got 3 fingers to work with, then this message doesn't apply to you, okay? It's just an energy of something shady here. I'm also picking up an energy of a pathological liar, right? The beak. It's like a growing nose. I feel like this speaks about this energy here. This is representative of these individuals or the overall energy inside these life cycles you're leaving behind. It's an energy that makes you feel like this is the best that there is. This is the best offer, the best deal, the best life, whatever it is that you're going to have, ever. And it couldn't be further from the truth. And the card of truth is right here. The Queen of Swords, ritual and ceremony. This is the energy that you are being called to encompass, to push through this cycle. This is a very strong-minded, independent in thought and judgment type of energy. This is somebody who's capable of going it alone. Also very far-sighted energy as well underneath this Magician. Visual manifestation. Golden era energy. I'm also picking up an energy of moving in silence right now. Being very protective of your energy. Be very careful what information that you're all sharing right now as well. That was a download that I got before the reading. What do we have at the throat, please? And look who decided to show up to the party. The devil. Samiel. The severity of God. Seduction and downfall. Communicates with the dead. Teaches the occult and magic. See, all of this leads back to the same place. The devil. We have God and the devil on the table. And look at the devil right underneath these 7 deadly sins. It's like here the devil comes with the offer, right? I'm always sticking my neck out for you. I have your best interest in mind. And then you're like, no, thank you. I see you for who you really are. Queen of Swords. And then boom. Oh, crap. Everybody sees me for who I really am. I have to shuffle off back to hell. Right? Because as we know, the devil's a coward. Shuffling off back to hell with his 7 deadly sins. What do we have at the third eye, please? The sun. Perfect. Leo energy at the third eye. Mahil. The vivifying God. Restoration of life. Protection from adversaries. I just heard again the golden era, right? This is what I'm feeling here. World stacked with the sun. Visually manifesting this new reality. Yes, it's very important that we're present in the here and now because we have to be able to get to that point in the future, right? But what I'm suggesting here is when you have that downtime, you're in that space of peace or meditation or whatever it is, that's when you want to start utilizing visual manifestation. When you're in the shower or taking a bath or in the ocean or just in the element of water or in the elements, so to speak, feet in the dirt, submerged in water, taking deep breaths, or sitting before a candle, earth, air, fire, and water. And the magician also represents just that. Earth, air, fire, and water. This is how you do this. It's not rocket science. The only thing stopping everybody from being able to do this with ease are the distractions. Everybody's too distracted. What do we have at the crown, please, to close this out? 3 of Swords, Libra energy at the crown to close out the reading. Perfect. Rahel, the quickly forgiving God. Love and submission. And on this card, you can see that this angel has their foot on a rock, and it's almost like they're getting ready to drive this sword through the stone. And I feel like this is representing this closure of this cycle. And there's this energy of empowerment now. There's also this energy of healing and moving forward, releasing the pain of the past. There's a very optimistic energy here. It's like you have this clear understanding now of how this all works. This energy of decoding your reality. This is what I'm looking at on this table. But it's not as hard as you think. Again, it just comes down to the mind. But there's a major ending of a cycle here and a golden era that is waiting for all of you. You just have to get your mind right and realize what you came here to do. This is the energy that I have available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations. Take care.